How do you reconcile God's sovereignty with our free will? First question here, and that's an awesome question. God's sovereignty with our free will. So, sort of the question that begs is, does God take His sovereignty to trump our free will? And that's a challenging one. I think that ultimately we've got to look at God as an individual. He's a personality, and we are an individual with a personality. And so we each have our own sovereign will. We each have our own free will. We each have our own independence. So God can do what He wants as long as it's in keeping with His character and nature. He is good, He is just, all of those things. And then we can do what we want according to our free will, and we'll do things that aren't good, that aren't just, unfortunately. And so those two things can be in conflict with each other. Does God take His free will to trump our free will? And I don't see any place in Scripture, personally, where God violates our free will. I think a lot of people say that's the one thing that God won't do, is that can be in keeping with His will, is violate our free will. So can God make a rock that's too heavy for Him to lift? Well, that's in contradiction with God's character and nature. It's a question that asks another question that can't happen. God can't contradict Himself. But will God do something that would seem like it's good to violate our own free will? And in Scripture, we don't see that. We see Him intervene in circumstances where God will do something to intervene, where He'll save somebody, He'll rescue somebody, that sort of thing. But will He do something that violates our will? No, not as we see it in Scripture anyway. And so hopefully that answers that question. Great question.